All right? Now, those fibers that are making it up are dense, irregular. You guys remember how that means the fibers are close together, but this time they're not in a regular pattern. So it's the dense, irregular connective tissue. It becomes continuous with the layer of the periosteum. Take your terms apart. Peri means what? To the outside. Osteum means what? Bone. So this capsule that is going to close in this knee, it runs continuous with the bones around it. All right, that is what's making up this joint. There's a membrane inside of that capsule, except where there's articular cartilage and it's fluid. It secretes the fluid for that joint, the synovial fluid. Look at what it's a mixture of. It's a mixture of polysaccharides. Y'all remember what that is? Sugars, poly, many, complex. That means it's a complex sugar. So I got some sugars in there, proteins, got some fat, some other cells in that joint. Something that is extremely important in that joint and goes away if you don't keep that joint healthy is my hyaluronic acid. Ever heard of that? Another reason I love marketing. Y'all never heard hyaluronic acid in a commercial. You will now that I've mentioned it to you. Okay? Any clue what it might be? It's a viscous material that's going to be present. And because it is viscous, that allows for the smooth movement between the bones. When the hyaluronic acid begins to dissipate in that joint, tissues are going to begin to break down. There are supplements that tout that it can help hyaluronic acid. I don't know if they can or not. Okay? When it comes to supplements, I'm very skeptical. But I do know the importance of it. It can be injected into a joint, especially the knee. Ever heard of Synvis? You have? Did you have it? Had it? Not a whole lot of fun to get, okay? They basically have it's a hyaluronic acid. They can inject it into your knee. Not a lot of fun to get that shot because they have to go through that fibrous capsule, and the person who's doing it better be doing it right. Because if they get between the layers of that capsule without breaking into the capsule, that's not going to be fun. Okay? So your goal is the person who's injecting it into your knee knows what they're doing. Alright? But it actually becomes fluid to make the movement of the knee better. We find that to get the synovial fluid, well, In our articular cartilage, because that's a form of the hyaline cartilage, or, well, actually no, articular is all by itself. But like other cartilages of the body, it doesn't have blood supply. All right? So for this capsule, it's going to be dependent on the blood supply in, near, and around that capsule to be able to make that synovial fluid. In the capsule itself, we have nerves. Love it. You can say, tell somebody, getting on my last nerve. And you can find one that's going into that, fibrous capsule of your knee and say, and if they'll be like, well, which one? Tell them now. Okay? But these nerves are very important in our body. They are sending information to the areas of the brain about our place in space. Proprioception. Proprioception. You're going to come across this again when you get into part 2 and you get into the chapter about the special senses, because this is a part of your equilibrium. And therefore, if these nerves were not sending the information that they do, you could not remain upright. That's just point blank. So, proprioception comes from nerve fibers in the joint. This is a little modified picture of what it looks like for the knee. Well, let's just say the synovial joint. But what you're going to find is the outer fibrous portion is running continuous with periosteum. We're going to find an inner membrane layer. We will see that blood vessels and nerves penetrate into the fibrous capsule, and inside the capsule we will have the synovial fluid. The hope is that the synovial fluid and all of its components, those polysaccharides, the hyaluronic acid, remain nourished so that it can nourish my articular cartilage. What breaks down the most in osteoarthritis? Why did I say osteo? Bone, but the articular cartilage. Because I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is totally different. Okay? Osteoarthritis is our normal wear and tear. That tells you right there, this is going to break down. All right? There are things you can do to, of course, help nourish it, but to tell you the truth, I don't know of anything that's going to keep it there for your entire life.
What's it called? What joints get popped?
You mean like people who might constantly crack their knuckles or something like that?
It would be a certain way it pops.
Now, fun question. Okay. Tends to happen as you get a little bit older. All right. And that good old popping and cracking and creaking and moaning and groaning and everything that we hear. Sometimes it can just simply be air in the joint. I know it sounds weird, okay? However, if you're doing like, if you hear it when you're like bending down, lifting back up, twisting, dancing, walking, something to that effect, some of the tissues are broken down. in your joint. And the more you do on that joint without supporting it, the faster that material is breaking down. That's why, get to be my age, okay? If you go to do a physical activity, walking, and y'all know I'm not running, okay? But something such as walking, okay, riding my elliptical, I should be wearing knee braces to support my joint. Yeah, I know, right? But haven't quite got to that point. Okay, just really can't. Not yet. Still kind of having to think that one over. But
So what you're saying is someone started to know that this is another need to help support.
yes, that is a support to the knee too. Now what that's doing, when you look at the structure of the knee, okay. Does anybody happen to remember what type of bone? I know the name of it, but what type? What?
I can remember that. I heard them.
Sesamoid? You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
A bone that develops in a tendon. As we get older, and because things begin to break down, that does too. Okay? The kind of band that you're talking about, that he wears under here, so that this doesn't have a lot of the flimsy movement, that band's doing this, right underneath the patella. And I've heard they're good. I've never tried one. Maybe I'll try that. They do work.
I had arthritis, and
Mhm.
so I had to wear it good, and they did it. That's the best.
Yeah.
And it's like riding a crank in the knee.
Uh-huh.
You feel it all the time.
What's going on? So I could do like walking, I guess, with it. Yeah, maybe, you know. So yeah, so you know that's, because see, if you think about it, not only is there wear and tear to that capsule, but this huge quadricep tendon right here that holds the patella, there's a lot of wear and tear on that thing too, okay? And then running down along each side, you got those, anybody ever heard of the IT bands? Iliotibial bands, okay? Mercy, all right? It'll keep them things stretched out. It will take it and pull on this tendon and pull it like this, pull it up into the side. And that tends to cause the bones of the knee to be wearing a little more, okay? Making even more knee problems. I know, gotta love it, right? Okay, just say. Now, some of the other structures that we're going to find in these synovial joints. Oh, man. You know, that bursitis, whew, that stuff is acting up today. Yeah. Now, y'all all heard of bursitis, right? Okay. No? Oh, I can tell you it's all right. Okay? Because my hip, yeah, I got that bursitis. Now, what do you find in these joints? You find these little packs. They look like little sacks of fluid. Now, in these joints, those little sacks of fluid are going to be found at an area where a tendon rubs over a bone. So that when that movement takes place, it's nice and smooth. So in these joints, areas where you'll find bursa, okay, they're going to be areas where that tendon has to rub over bone. Well, when they get irritated, the itis, the inflammation, we therefore have our bursitis. Sometimes to the point that you have to go get injections into that joint of those corticosteroids to try to help the inflammation go down. If that doesn't work, some people actually have the bursa removed. because it's so painful.